What's up, guys? This is Charzzariah, and welcome to the first lore video for Dark Souls month. And today I'm going to talk about something that personally has me very interested, and I'm going to be talking about the New Londo ruins, the four kings, King Seeker Frampt and Dark Stalker Kaathe, the Dark Soul, the Pygmy, and finally you, the player character. So let's begin. So firstly, I think we should start off with the New Londo ruins, because this is where, you know, all the lore pretty much in this episode stems from. This place here. And we can tell by the name that this was supposed to be an extension to Anor Londo. The ruins were once a great city that was flooded to seal away the four kings, as the key to the seal description says. Key to the floodgates of New Londo, which seal away the four kings who fell to dark. The sealers flooded New Londo to banish the Dark Wraiths and the Four Kings. The agonizing decision was made with the realization that countless lives and the robust culture of the city would be lost. The victims now roam the ruins as ghosts. So, that was from the description of the key to seal, if you can tell. So, this pretty much tells us a couple of key things. First of all, it tells us that the ghosts you fight in the ruins are the dead inhabitants of the city. Now that's so cheery, but then again, this is Dark Souls, so that's kind of to be expected. And the transient curses are their disembodied hands. Yeah, this just gets better and better. Anyway, now, many people say the architecture of the ruins looks like that of the ruins in the Darkroot Garden, which we know from the Prepared Die edition is Ulasil, but I have a separate video dedicated to that, so we won't go into that now. Anyway, so first of all, let's talk about who are the sealers. Well, according to the key to the seal description, they were the ones who sealed New Londo and flooded it. Clearly, sealers, they sealed it. The Crimson Robe description says that the sealers were well-known healers as well. The Mask of the Sealers says that there were 3 sealers. Ingrid, we know of, because we see him in game. We hear about another one called Yulva, and there is a lot of speculation from people, and they think that the 3rd sealer is assisting Lautrec in Anor Londo. And the Mask of the Sealers was a symbol of their resolve, like their willingness, and they knew what they had done, and they were, I guess, almost a key, or it was a symbol of their resolve, and the sealer that is supposedly assisting Lautrec is not wearing his mask, so that's a little something to think about. Now, yeah, so that's the reason behind that. You do meet Ingrid in the game, and he tells you that the sealers did what they did to protect the rest of the world from the kings and the Dark Wraiths. Now, if you don't have the Lord Vessel, he will not give you the key to the seal. You can kill him and get it from him, but who likes to kill people? Plus, he heals your curses, so kinda want to keep him alive. He'll also send you transient curses to combat the ghosts, which is also very nice. If you kill him, though, he will lament that he failed his mission. And if you talk to him after defeating the kings, he will go to Firelink Shrine. Now, the other sealers, there is one other, and everyone knows about is Yulva. And apparently she left for a noble cause. We don't really know what that noble cause is, but we do have some idea of what it probably was. Actually, it's kind of defined this is what it was. In Blighttown, there's a spell called Remedy, and it says, and I quote, "Sorcery of the Red-Robed Yulva, one of the sealers of New Londo." Well, there we go. This is, you know, one of Yulva's spells, and as you remember, the sealers were also healers, so this ties in nicely. It continues to say, one of New Londo's unique healing sorceries. Perhaps she abandoned her sealer duty to take her healing art back to Blighttown. Next to the chest where you find the remedy sorcery, you find a dead body in sealer's robes holding a tin banishment catalyst. It also is said that she was trying to remedy the poison in Blighttown, which would have been real nice, but she had to die. So, rest in peace, Yulva. Really wish that remedy could have been brought to all of Blighttown, because gotta say, first time going through there, not a whole lot of fun. Anyway, that's pretty much what we know about from the sealers and New Londo, but how about we talk about the four kings, the reason New Londo was sealed in the first place. Now the four kings are one of the more interesting bosses because they have a shard of the Lord Soul. Now in the opening movie it says that there were 4 Lord Souls and they went to Gwyn, Nito, Witch of Izalus, and the third to Pygmy, which we will be going into in this video, so stay tuned for that. So first of all, how did the kings obtain their shard of the soul? Truth is, the soul isn't a complete Lord Soul. It is only a fragment, or a bequeathed fragment of the Lord Soul. Gwyn's soul, to be precise. The soul you get from them is called the bequeathed Lord Soul shard, and this pretty much means, bequeathed means it is given to them as sort of a gift. If you bequeath something to someone, you give it to them as a gift for something they have done. This is also similar to Seath, because he was given the rank of Duke, and was bequeathed a Lord Soul shard as well from Gwyn, but we'll go into that maybe later in another video. So yeah, now these two items are similar, but each of them has a different description. So you get the one from the kings and you get the one from Seath. Now the description of the soul shard goes from the kings: soul of one of the 4 kings who fell to dark, a fragment of a Lord Soul discovered at the dawn of fire. Lord Gwyn recognized the foresight of these 4 great leaders of New Londo and granted them their ranks and the fragments of a great soul. Although this is not a full Lord Soul, it can still satiate the Lord Vessel. So yeah, I will do Seath Shard's description later, but anyway. These guys were once allied with Gwyn. Well, they must have been to gain the ranks and of course the fragments of his soul. But they turned on Gwyn and became what most people on the highest class of arseholes, including Lord rank. But more on him later. Now many people have their own speculations as to why they turned, but it seems that they were corrupted by none other than Darkstalker Kaathe. Now one reason why it is believed that the kings were turned to Kaathe is that normal humans can't survive in the Abyss, well not without the aid of a covenant like Artorias's, or with the assistance of a beast of the Abyss, much like Artorias as well. It is said that Artorias made a pact with the beast of the Abyss, and now we only know of 2 creatures that live in the Abyss, and they are Kaathe and Frampt. So it's likely Artorias made a pact with Kaathe, and he is also known as the Abyss Walker, but we'll go back to the kings now, but I do plan to talk about Artorias in another video, as well as Ulasil, Alvina, Manus, and all that good stuff. But anyway, the kings also used the art of Life Drain, which is another reason I believe that they were turned by Kaathe. Life Drain, if you don't know, if you've never had it used on you, is pretty much an ability where the user will, let's say it's a Dark Wraith that invades you and they have Life Drain. Basically what Life Drain will do is they will grab you and they will suck away, if you have any humanity in your counter, they will take that for themselves. So I'm pretty sure that's why they chose to side with Frampt for that ability. Yeah, and that is used to drain the humanity from other living beings, and it is also used by the Dark Wraiths in the Covenant. I've also discovered that it is said on one of the weapons used by the Dark Wraiths, the Dark Sword, that when the kings were seduced by evil, their knights became the Dark Wraiths. So the knights of the 4 kings are the Dark Wraiths you fight in the game. So that's kind of interesting as well. Ingward also says that the kings are the masters of dark. So yeah, there you go. That's all I have to say on the 4 kings for now. So how about we talk about the reason they turned, and we will turn our eyes on Kingseeker Frampt and Darkstalker Kaathe, because I have a lot to say about these 2 very interesting fellows. So let's start with Kaathe, shall we, because we find him in the Abyss and we're on the topic of the Abyss, so it seems only fair to start there. So we find him in the Abyss, but only if you haven't placed the Lord Vessel before defeating the 4 kings, or talked to Frampt. He says, "The truth I shall share without sentiment. After the advent of fire, the ancient lords found the 3 souls, but your progenitor found a 4th unique soul, the Dark Soul. Your ancestor claimed the Dark Soul and waited to fire to subside, and soon the flames did fade, and only dark remained. Thus began the age of man, the age of dark. Now, if what Kaathe says is to be believed, then your ancestor is the furtive Pygmy. Even though he doesn't say it, it is very highly implied. Kaathe continues to say, Lord Gwyn trembled at the dark, clinging to his age of fire, and in dire fear of humans and the Dark Lord who would one day be born amongst them. Lord Gwyn resisted the course of nature, sacrificing himself to link the fire, and commanding his children to shepherd the humans. Gwyn has blurred your past to prevent the birth of the Dark Lord. I am the primordial serpent. I seek to right the wrongs of the past, to discover our true Lord. But the other serpent, Frampt, has lost his sense and befriended Lord Gwyn's undead warrior. We stand at the crossroad. Only I know the truth about your fate, and you must destroy the fading Lord Gwyn, who has coddled fire and resisted nature and become the fourth Lord, so that you may usher in the Age of Dark. Befriending Kaathe will cause Frampt to retreat to the abyss, and vice versa, like I explained before. If you befriend Frampt, Kaathe will retreat. But if you become the Dark Lord, there are multiple serpents resembling Kaathe and Frampt, and they will greet you as their one true Lord with many other snakes. So, are Kaathe and Frampt playing both sides? Quite possibly. If you link the bonfire, would they team up with Gwendolyn, the last god left in Londo? It's a bit, interesting. Frampt is telling you to link the fire, and Kaathe is telling you to become the Dark Lord. But if you do become the Dark Lord, does Frampt just play on whichever side he thinks is winning? It's a bit interesting, but anyway, how about we talk about the Dark Soul now, because this is very interesting. And lastly, after this we'll talk about the Pygmy, and finally I want to touch on the player character. So how about we just dive into the Dark Soul straight away. Now, I personally believe that the fourth Lord Soul, or the Dark Soul, has been split into very many parts, and we know that from Seath and the Four Kings that Lord Souls can be split. So here's my speculation. This is not fact, I want that known. So here it goes. The Dark Soul was found by the Pygmy. My speculation is that the Pygmy has been long gone. Many people say that, oh, you are the Pygmy, or you are the ancestor of the Pygmy. I believe that you are the ancestor of the Pygmy, but I don't believe that you are the Pygmy. But I do believe he was the spread of the undeath. I think that the Dark Sign and humanity sprites that are in the game are all pieces of the Dark Souls, since only undead have use for them. The in-game description of humanity states, this black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? Now, the humanity that is held within us is natural, but the humanity used in-game is a fragment, possibly, of the Dark Soul. But that is only what I believe, and here are a few things that support this. One, it is said that not much is known about its true nature, and it is also pitch black, but you know, that could probably have been a design aesthetic. But if you look at all the other souls in the game, like specifically Gwyn's soul and the other Lord souls, they're very predominantly like bright and color filled with color. And then you have this humanity sprite, which is very dark, like it's pitch black with just that white little aura around it. So it may have been a design aesthetic, but I think it could be on purpose. But anyway, secondly, if you have read the Rite of Kindling description, it says, how peculiar that humans found little use for humanity until they turned undead. Now there is either a little hint or just a comment being made. Either way, the black sprites are unnatural forms of humanity, not proper humanity we hold within ourselves. The sprites show the power of the Dark Soul, but it is only called humanity, not actual humanity. Now, Normal humans are born with humanity and don't require any more humanity while they are alive. Or, well, any more than what they are born with. And on the other end of the spectrum, undead need the little black sprites to retain their humanity. When a human dies, that's it. Bye-bye. But when an undead dies, human, like when it dies as a human, it comes back as a hollowed out husk of an undead. And then the cycle repeats. Also, you offer pieces, like you offer humanity to bonfires to kindle them to give you more Estus, also making the bonfire stronger. Now, could that be Lord Gwyn using the fragments of the Dark Soul for his own gain? To extend his Age of Fire? Quite possibly. But it is known that you cannot kindle at certain particular places like Firelink and Firelink Altar at the Lord Vessel, so I don't know. Could be that Gwyn is using pieces of the Dark Soul for his own gain, or maybe it's just, I don't know, letting you have a bit more Estus to drink while you're going and travelling along. Anyway, let's talk about the Pygmy. Now, the Pygmy is one of the points in the game that, apart from the intro movie, is not really mentioned at all in game. I know the Darkstalker Kaathe talks about your ancestor. Note he doesn't say Pygmy though. It is said in the intro movie that Gwyn, the Witch of Izalith, Nito and the Pygmy found a special soul, the Lord Souls. And through the game you find each of these souls except for the Pygmies. Now this soul is mentioned as the Dark Soul, but we've already discussed that, so it's pretty much confirmed that the Pygmy is your ancestor, right? Due to the fact that you are undead and the Pygmy was the cause of undeath, and the Pygmy spread it to the world. Here's where we talk about the player character, and this is going to be unscripted because I just want to give out my thoughts on this. This is pure speculation. I have nothing I can read off of, like any hard facts like I did for the other things. So, sorry for any trip-ups on words, but I'm sure there have been plenty of those already, so let's go. So, the human character, the player character, is quite interesting, because in the beginning you see a woman mourning over a body. Now, this could be implied that this dead body is you, or it also could be Oscar of Astora, due to the fact that the armor more resembles his than yours. But anyway, it is said in the prophecy that Oscar tells you about, "You who art undead art chosen. And in thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh thy way to the land of ancient lords." Now, you leave the undead asylum, so you are obviously the chosen undead. Now, it is believed that the chosen undead's mission is to succeed Lord Gwyn, or that's what it is in the story at least. But, if what Kaathe tells us is to be believed, the original purpose of the chosen undead was to become the fourth lord, extinguish Gwyn's Gwyn's reign of fire, and usher in the Age of Man and the Age of Dark. So we have two conflicting points here, and we have two very different opinions on each side. We have Kaathe telling you that you are the chosen undead and you must succeed Lord Gwyn, but then you have Kaathe telling you that you are the chosen undead, you must destroy Gwyn and become the fourth lord and usher in the Age of Man. Now you can choose either side. You are a pawn. The game makes you feel like you have a choice, but you are just a pawn in either Kaathe's plan or Gwendolyn and Frampt's plan. Now you may think, oh well, Gwendolyn, you're just such a complete twit, I'm gonna go against you. Well, you're just playing into Kaathe's hand. Or you could think, oh, Kaathe's Dark Wraith, why would I ever want to go with you? I'm a Link the Fire, I'm a do the right thing. Nah, it's pawn, both sides. People say that the Link the Fire ending is the good ending, but is it really? People say that the Dark Lord ending is the bad ending, but is it really? Both endings almost have the same outcome. If you Link the Fire, Sure, you sustain the Age of Fire for a couple more years, but like it's said so many times in the game, one day the flames will fade. So the Link the Fire ending could almost be seen as the, I don't know, sacrificial ending, or the ending that doesn't have much purpose, whereas the Dark Lord ending could almost be seen as the good ending, because you are just speeding up the process of ushering in the Age of Dark, I don't know, a couple of years before it'll be ushered in anyway. But that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter for now. I do intend to talk about the Abyss more when I talk about Artorias and Manus, and I do have a lot to say about Manus as well, in terms of the Pygmy. So we will be coming back to the Pygmy, because there are some things that can definitely link Manus and the Pygmy together, so I look very forward to talking about that. Thank you for listening, really, to this video. I'm pretty sure there have just been some random videos, some Dark Souls footage, probably going through New Londo and demonstrating both endings. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video for Dark Souls month, and that'll probably be maybe another lore video, or Let's Plays. I'm not going to say another part of Dark Souls month. Well, okay, there are another part of Dark Souls month, but they're just going to be coming out throughout the whole thing, and so I am going to be saying that the next time I'm going to see you, that isn't already pre-recorded, because Let's Plays are, it's probably going to be the Dark Souls lore video on Ornstein and Smo. Some people were wondering, in what order will I be doing the lore? Well, for starters, I did New Londo and all that stuff. Next will be Ornstein and Smoke. Next will be Solaire, Gwyn, and all that. Then after that will be the Covenants. Actually, no, change that. Covenants will be after Ornstein and Smo. Then Gwyn, his children, Solaire, and all that, and the Sun's Firstborn. And to wrap up the lore for Dark Souls month, I'm going to be talking about Artorias, Kiaran, Goth, Sif, Manus, Ulasil, Chester. That is probably going to be the longest video in Dark Souls month, and I am very much looking forward to it. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you have any thoughts about anything I've talked about today, chuck it down into the comment section below. I would be very happy to read any of this. If you liked this video, if you thought it was informative in any way, I guess, give it a like, share it with your friends. Any criticism as well, be very much appreciated. I'm always trying to improve my videos. I know I'm stumbling on my words a lot, so I'm trying to get better at that. Believe me, I am. But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribed, so you can see when my other videos for Dark Souls month are coming out. I'd very recommend you do that as well, because you don't want to miss a minute of this. I have some very good stuff, like the Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition unboxing. I'm still waiting for a release date for Dark Souls PC. That is what I pre-ordered Dark Souls 2 on, simply due to the fact that I am pretty much nowadays a PC gamer, and PC is the easiest for me to record on. Also, new part of Let's Play will be coming out tomorrow. I know this has become a bit of a ramble session, so I might chuck an annotation before this starts for people to skip this, because I know a lot of people don't like to hear my rambling. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next Dark Souls lore video. Bye.